What's going on, everyone? It is another episode of Left Side Heavy, the podcast, presented by Blue Wire Hustle. It's your boy, Jevin Lefave. I am bringing on host of SYP, Speaker Piece, Ian McNaughton, and good friend of the show, one of the most recurring guests on the show, Haydn Barton. We talk about the wild card weekend. Absolutely insane. And yeah, so we talk about that. We go through the games and just some of the potential coaching positions and coaching jobs up for grabs, what teams are expected to do. And then we preview the divisional round and give our picks, some against the spread, some we just went straight up. But we kind of give our insights, some details, but it was a very fun episode. I hope you guys enjoy it. Be sure to leave a rating and review on Apple and Spotify. Subscribe to the YouTube Left Side Heavy. Turn on the bell, like, comment, do all that. Follow the socials are plugged at the end of the show. But I hope you guys enjoy the episode. Here they are.
Void numbers. God. What do you take me for?
It's episode 78 of Left Side Heavy. Presented by Blue Wire Hustle. It's your boy Jevin Lefave. And this is for this past weekend. And Ian, if Russ leaves, you can crack one open with me too.
Okay. All right.
I got my boys Ian and Haydn on, and I just had a very, very sad weekend. Haydn, you witnessed me have a meltdown in my living room. And yes, Ian, you were probably laughing at on your couch at home. Very sad weekend,
I wasn't even laughing. No, I was just honestly from that. We'll get into it, but I was mostly impressed by the Bills from that game. That was my big takeaway. Was just how impressive their offense was.
Yeah, that was one of the most impressive offensive performances I've ever seen since I started watching football. 7 drives, 7 touchdowns, and 1 kneel down. We'll get into it in a bit, but boys, how we doing? How we doing after this wild card weekend?
Super wild card weekend.
Yeah.
You know, it's like in SpongeBob, instead of Weenie Hut Juniors, it was Super Weenie Hut Juniors. That's what this weekend was. I think the Super Bowl is probably my favorite viewing experience. And then probably wild card weekend, especially now with the extra game. Now it's a Monday night game too. I think this is probably my favorite weekend outside of this, or outside of Super Bowl to watch football.
Oh yeah, fair enough. It was like such like blowout. It was like blowout century, blowout factory this past weekend. Like
there was only like one true game that came right down to the wire.
Yeah, and it was like the refs fed it to the wire basically. But Hayden, how we doing?
Oh, man, fucking killing it.
How's your back?
My weekend. Okay, we won't talk about my back. Fuck.
Old man back.
Dude, if something's actually broken in this, went and got x-rays on Friday. If something's actually broken in my back, I'm going to be fucking like livid. But yeah, just regarding that, football, great weekend of football, must say.
Now, do you think who would the Saints have played if they made it? Would they have still played the Rams? Do you think
they would have played tonight? And yes, they would have won.
Yes, they would have won. Yeah.
Oh, 100%, dude. Are you kidding me?
Taysom Hill meets Aaron Donald.
It's not even about the offense for the Saints and the defense for the Rams, okay? It's about the defense for the Saints, okay? Now, how many picks did Matthew Stafford throw tonight? 0. How many turnovers were there? 0. Bro, Saints defense on a heater? I don't buy it. Rams totally threw that game just so they didn't have to verse the New Orleans Saints. You can't tell me wrong. After seeing this destruction that they laid on Arizona, I don't buy it. I feel like it would have been a lot better of a game, in my opinion.
Hindsight's 2020, obviously, because hindsight is 2020. Going into it, I would have thought that Arizona Rams would have been a better game because they both split. So I think it could have gone. I thought it was going to go down to the wire, and then Kyler forgot how to play football and threw an alley-oop in the end zone.
did Tyler forget how to play football, or was this offensive play calling just shit from the get-go? Because like that one trick play, that double pass that was like flagged because it was a forward pass. How early in the game do you have to go into your bag of tricks and reveal that you're desperate as fuck? Like that was just awful. I knew the Cardinals were frauds right from the get-go. You got 7 wins, and this is their best season that they're gonna have in a while. I call it the start of the season. Did not like the Cardinals.
I think I told, at least I know I told Haydn before this week of games that the Rams would beat the Cardinals. I wasn't really worried. The Rams have the better coach, better quarterback. Nothing that happened tonight surprised me too much. Rip to my friend Ravisher who bet the Cardinals tonight. Money line did not go well for him.
Nope. May have gone the complete opposite.
Yes, it literally could not have gone any worse for him. But I said the Rams would win, so not saying I'm a genius or anything, but I think I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's why you get paid the big bucks, right?
That's why I get paid the big bucks. Absolutely.
Well, boys, we'll start at the very beginning and work to tonight. Bengals, Raiders. Man, I'll tell you this right now. Raiders have been screwed with schedule-wise since the get-go. I don't know what they did, but like playing on the very last week and then having to go on the early game on Saturday. And then their like schedule from the last few weeks, man, they just got shafted. And with the adversity they had to go through the season, give Derek Carr some nominations for MVP. Man, this guy had to carry a prison cell on his back, pretty much. Am I wrong here?
I mean, the game itself was that game was actually closer than I thought. I had the Raiders winning, but it was closer than I thought it would be for that long, like going down to literally the last play.
Yeah.
They just felt like they were behind so much. Like it felt like they were just like on their back the entire game and they could never get ahead. Partially because of the refs, that call really stunk, but also because I thought Joe Burrow was really good and he made the Raiders defense look like burnt toast.
Yeah.
That I think that, like you say, that's what happens when you play the very last game on the Sunday night and then you have to play on Saturday. Not totally surprising.
And it doesn't help that they played in an absolute war on the Sunday night. It wasn't like a 2-score game and it was over by the 4th. It was like that last drive by Herbert and then overtime. So it was crazy. Haydn, what were your thoughts on the game?
Oh yeah, the Raiders, they did definitely get screwed. I don't really count this up to let's say like their schedule wise. Every team had to play on Sunday. The fact that they got it Sunday night, yeah, okay, kind of shitty. But I mean, for the most part, what was really, really weird about this game was obviously that weird whistle when there clearly should not have been a whistle, and then how the NFL just completely, washes it over like it's nothing and just goes on to talk about it later, and says, or like, I can't remember who exactly was talking about this mysterious whistle, but he was like, oh yeah, no, the whistle was blown right when he caught it. No, it wasn't. Anyone with eyes and ears knows that whistle was blown midway through. And now that refereeing crew is penalized for their actions and they won't be reffing another game this postseason, which doesn't surprise me.
Nope.
But like, I don't understand. There were so many people saying that this is a rule, take it back. Why didn't they take it back? You have the option to take it back. And I know it wasn't like late in the 4th or it wasn't like a 4th down play. So it literally maybe would not have mattered whatsoever, but it's a huge momentum killer for the Raiders. And
100%.
I like a fair game. If my team's going to lose, I like to lose in a fair way, but that just brought, I see on Reddit. I just brought a lot of 2018 Saints Rams NFC Championship vibes there with a bad missed call. So
It
yeah, it's
also
getting brutal.
it also changes potential like mindsets for the rest of the game, because say they don't get the touchdown and they get a stop, force a field goal. Now they're down by like more than half of what they would have been if the touchdown counted, right? So instead of giving up 6, potentially 7 points, they only give up 3. Maybe they don't have to go for it at a certain point. They can afford to take a field goal and chip away at the score instead of like, it changes the mindset. So that, yeah, like when you talk about momentum, it just changes the whole game plan of the Raiders now, because it's like, all right, now we're down a whole touchdown. Now now we're in desperate measures now. So
it kind of goes back to what I was saying about how like they kept climbing this hill. It felt like they could never just get ahead. They were always just battling something,
yeah,
and they were just never ahead. And even until like the very last play, it never seemed like it was going to work out for them.
no, I totally agree with you there. Do you like, is this do you think this is a one-off? Obviously the season isn't over for Cincinnati. They could freaking win the Super Bowl, but coming off this win, do you think this gives the franchise hope as like this kind of was a lucky year, or do you think they can truly like build off of this year, or is it just like a one-off?
This is a total build off of this year. Are you kidding me? They are rolling high. Like they have a young quarterback, a young receiver, a running back who is definitely going to be in his prime,
Not
and a
just a
great
young
defense.
not just a young receiver, like a top
Young
five
receiver
receiving
core.
core, top 5 receiving core
Yeah.
already. Tyler
Yeah.
Boyd
No,
is one of the best
exactly.
slot receivers. Jamar Chase has cemented himself as, I'll give himself top 10 just for sure, because I mean, people will probably put him in there and I wouldn't blame them. And then T. Higgins
Mm-hmm.
is becoming like a Mike Williams type of receiver, where big play, contested catch type of receiver
Yeah.
who can make those big play, like big 25-yard catches. And then Joe Mixon had a career year. Joe Burrow's like really on the climb now. Like before it was like, hey, he's kind of looking like Kirk Cousins. He'll have like the occasional big game, but then you'll have a dud every once in a while. But it seems like he's, Joey franchise now.
Yeah.
And like you said, that Hendrickson signing from the Saints, I mean, that's probably one of the top 3 signings of the offseason, because he was an absolute beast this year. So no,
Yeah.
I totally agree that they can. I think the division will run through Cincy now, because I mean, as much as you want to say Baltimore and their coaching, I totally agree with you there. But I think Cincy's way more well built than the Ravens. So yeah, what are your thoughts on
Yeah.
the Bengals, Ian? Like going
It,
forward?
it's you're setting yourself up for 10 years of success when you have that quarterback, when you have those offensive weapons. The key to all this really is drafting well. Like they
Yeah,
and we all know that their offensive line was their weakest link coming into the season. You can improve the offensive line and give Burrow just another half second, not even of just extra time in the pocket. That's going to make his life easier as long as you're drafting well, especially on the defensive side to give Burrow even more help, because you've locked down the hardest part, finding a
yep,
franchise quarterback.
yeah,
You've got that. That's your
and
guy.
and giving him weapons to throw to.
And giving him people, easy targets to throw to. You kind of got the hardest part down here if you're Cincinnati. It's just a matter of you're now a top 3 team, let's say in the NFC, top 4 anyways. We think they're going to be division contenders for sure. How do you get to that next level? How do you get to that where Kansas City has
Yeah,
been over the last few years? That's something I think that's doable. And again, it's easy when you have the quarterback.
yeah,
So easy.
I agree. I like it. It's like you said, Ian, it's coming down to the point where they can't miss on these next upcoming drafts. Like they can't miss on any picks. I know like their offense is well built, but the offensive line is up there as the most important part of the team, because yeah, franchise quarterback's number one, but you also got to be able to protect him and like keep him up, right? Give him time to throw the ball. And I'm not saying Joe Burrow isn't mobile, but he isn't the most mobile quarterback, and especially with that knee injury he suffered last year, that decreases it a bit, right? And it increases the risk of him being sacked. It's like Gronk getting hurt all the time. Anytime he gets tackled, I'm like holding my head. I'm like, please, like get up, don't be hurt. Like next thing you know, it'll come out. It's like, yeah, Gronk has broken ribs, herniated disc in his back. It's like, man, anytime this guy gets tackled, he's hurt. So you don't want that to happen with Joe Burrow. So cement that offensive line, and then maybe there's still free agency, right? If you can use some cap space to like just build depth on the defense. If you can have an average defense and a good offense, you can. KC showed that you can win a Super Bowl that way. So
well, and even like I might be getting a bit ahead of myself here, but you're gonna have to give a major contract extension to Joe Burrow at some point. So if you can, have some good offensive line pieces and some good defensive pieces on rookie deals as well, that really cements your chance at winning a Super Bowl.
No, 100%. Totally agree. What's the next step for Vegas? Move out of the fucking state, because ever since I moved to Vegas, it's been DUI after DUI and arrest after arrest.
Oh,
dude, they were perfectly fine in Oakland. They go to Vegas and all hell breaks loose.
I mean, looking at it from a like an actual like trying to figure out how to make this team a contender. I don't know. I think you have the franchise quarterback in Carr. They really seem to love him there. He probably needs another receiver. The defense there outside of Max Crosby is very underwhelming for my liking. This is a bit of a reclamation project, I feel like, with the Raiders, trying to make them like what Cincinnati, even getting to Cincinnati, to their level.
Ian, you could probably relate to this more than Hayden, but they're looking like the Minnesota Wild right now. They're not terrible, but they're very like mid to like above average right now, where they're good enough to make the playoffs, but not good enough to make a deep run, but they can give a team a tough fight. And it's like, you got to commit one way or another. You got to buy in, or you got to just press the reset button and like load up on capital.
And even with the like, it's so amazing in their division with the Chiefs and the Chargers, just how not explosive the Raiders are.
Yeah.
Like this team is, they tried to build under Gruden. It seemed like a very wear you down, grind you down. Like, we're going to play, hard football. And when you have a fantastic quarterback like Carr is, and you see the other offenses in that division, it's kind of like, well, I'd love to see more explosiveness out of this team. I love to see more over the top stuff, not just, stick on 3rd and 3, make a bigger play. But that's just me.
They lost their players like a stretch of field and Ruggs, but hey, what do you think the next step is for the Raiders?
Well, I see a positive move today after the Raiders have now just moved on from Mike Mayock.
Yeah.
And I think that was a huge, huge lump or a huge stone in their way of greatness, because you look at their draft, like these past couple of years, it has been shit. And I say that very politely, but it's like, imagine like going back and looking at that draft, right? Henry Ruggs was the first receiver taken off the board. Justin Jefferson was sitting right there. And then you look at
CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy were also sitting there too.
Exactly. Like there was so many different options for the Raiders. And then you look at this year, their first round picks was Alex Leatherwood.
Yeah.
Like that, people were projecting him late 2nd round, early 3rd. It's just, I feel like their draft process was just terrible. And I'm not saying Leatherwood isn't bad, but I feel like they reached for him. Definitely could have got him in the 2nd round and could have got somebody else on the defense. And I don't think people do enough scouting on, people's past histories with, certain timelines and what they are doing in college, because I saw a tweet that rose up from like Henry Ruggs, and it was his girlfriend, and she tweeted like, "Oh, I'm scared to get in the car with you," and then he's like, "Don't worry, baby, I'm a good driver," or whatever. And that was tweeted like 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm like, you weren't in the league, so this scares me. And then again with that corner who got arrested for a DUI too, asleep at the wheel. Like, people really need to be going back and checking on these people's histories, because it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Drug and alcohol problems are a real thing. And with the Raiders, it seems so stereotypical to say, but it's the truth.
Especially like a D1 top of the class athlete on the college's number one sport in the States at a top college, and he's like a projected top athlete. He's going to be raging for like continuously, and those habits are going to carry on, especially if was it Oakland when Ruggs got drafted, or
I'm pretty sure they were
in Vegas.
I'm pretty sure they were Vegas, but they hadn't played a game in Vegas yet.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's what it was. Yeah,
and especially drafting a guy like to Vegas, like giving a young kid millions of dollars in Vegas after probably partying a ton in college. It's something you definitely have to look after. Obviously, you can't avoid it at all because you have to draft someone, and there's a good chance a lot of college football athletes are going to be partying a lot in college, and going to Vegas is going to be tough. But something you have to monitor, man. It's because you're giving like a 21-year-old kid like $12 million. It's like, yeah, I'm going to go wild. Like,
yeah, give a young kid seven figures on his paycheck and then see what he does in Vegas.
The day after he was being drafted, it's like, yeah,
time to fucking party.
be responsible in bed by 8. Yeah, fuck you, dude. I'm going to all the strip clubs on the Vegas Strip, going to the casino and get hammered.
What do you mean I can't go to the Bellagio? Like, yeah, I'm going.
Yeah.
But I mean, the other thing I want to mention too with the Raiders is that Gruden did have a lot of say and a lot of pull within that organization. Like, they hired Gruden and they hired Mike Mayock. I don't know if I don't know how that's going to influence now. How that's going to be in their free agents and in drafting. It depends on who the new GM and coach is, but that's something that should be noted, should at least be recognized, that these are Gruden players that have been drafted the last 3 or 4 years, and the results are very mixed.
Quick note, with Mayock being fired or let go, however you want to call it, do you think they keep the coach, or do you think they go elsewhere?
I can't see how they keep the coach. I think I heard they're also interviewing coaches, or they've asked for permission to interview other coaches. So that sounds like you're not gonna keep him. Maybe you're not keeping him as a head coach. Maybe he.
Like, if they're willing to say, like,
right back to where he was.
Yeah, if you can say, like, hey, if you want to stay with us, was he the OC or DC or?
I think he was special teams, wasn't he?
Special
I feel like he was a
special teams.
Okay, yeah, it's like, hey, if you don't mind staying here, going back to special teams when we just bring it, because I mean, like, he basically just like kept the team afloat, and then I'm not blaming the guy at all because it's a tough situation to just jump into and like expect success right away. But yeah, I would say go a different route, but.
Did you hear what he did Saturday night in the team hotel?
He hand wrote letters to
every player.
Yeah.
That, like, I think he does have a part of a head coaching job somewhere down the future. And for him to keep the Raiders afloat this year, he did a hell of a job.
Yeah. And same goes for Derek Carr. But boys, next game. I might start crying. So,
do you want me to do the lead in for this for you? Do you want me to do this for you?
Yes, please.
So the Buffalo Bills beat the New England Patriots 47-17.
Wait, how much?
47-17. What's the stadium called in Buffalo now, by the way? What's the new? Is it New Era Field in Buffalo?
I don't care.
No, okay.
Is it actually?
It used to be New Era Field, I believe. It was Ralph
I thought
Wilson.
it was Orchard Park.
It might have been.
I thought it was just called that.
Well, it's where the Bills play, where the Patriots had a bad loss on Saturday night. Let's maybe give Jevin a few seconds here to kind of get in the mood to talk about this. Haydn, what was your first takeaway, your immediate thoughts after the game Saturday night?
Oh my God. Well, being in the presence of the host and just watching what was unfolding, it was like looking at a hot knife, like 1,000-degree knife, cutting through room temperature butter.
Ooh.
It wasn't needed, and it was just quick, and it was over. It was done so fast, and I have never been more wrong on choosing a team against the spread, and it was kind of just like, that's embarrassing. Like, I understand making the playoffs, and Jev's dad had a perfect analogy. It's like going for a putt. You give it enough oomph and it gets there, and you give it a chance to go in. But if you come up short, it never has a chance. I get that. It's just seeing that, and Bill Belichick getting out-coached and just outplayed by everyone. It was rough. It was rough. Hats off to Josh Allen, who had a fucking amazing game. But
I was gonna say my biggest takeaway from the game was how good Ian Eagle, the lead play-by-play. No, I'm kidding. It was Josh Allen. Josh Allen actually rocked on Saturday. More touchdown passes than incompletions.
That's insane.
I didn't realize. I mean, I'm sure this was true, but the Buffalo Bills are now the best RPO team essentially in the NFL right now. Which was incredible, seeing the Pats getting beat like they did. Jevin, do you have anything you want to add or say about this?
Do I ever? All right. So let me start. First of all, Mac Jones played great. He wasn't the issue. He threw the ball well. And I was telling Haydn this, despite the score, it was the best game that I saw him throwing the ball and doing his job to get themselves down the field. Matthew Bolden, catch the fucking ball. Your job on this team is to be a receiving back, filling in for James White, who isn't playing right now. I'm pretty sure he's hurt or has personal matters that he's attending to. One of the two. But your job on this team is supposed to catch the ball and gain yards. You can't be dropping 30-yard passes. Mac Jones threw the ball well. He threw a dime to, I believe it was Kendrick Bourne, but
Jacoby Myers in the end zone, right?
Yeah, it was Jacoby Myers or Bourne. Jacoby Myers sounds right. But Micah Hyde made an unbelievable interception. People are saying ball was still underthrown. Yeah, by maybe an inch. Okay, it was a good throw that set the receiver up. Well, it was just a nice ball, and the DB just made a better play on it. Mac Jones was not the problem. He played well. Now, the defense was JV. It was junior varsity defense. Terry Fox Ravens could have put up a 50 piece on this fucking defense. I swear to God. Jojon Williams, what you literally let 50-year-old walking with a cane Sanders run right past you and be within a 10-foot radius to catch a touchdown pass. You literally just watched him run past you and he caught the ball. Mind you, the score, it was already a blowout when this happened, so it was just salt in the wound. But this, don't expect to be on the roster opening day next year. JC Jackson, you're supposed to be up there as an all-pro cornerback, and you just let Stephon Diggs run right past you. Same thing with Williams. Diggs didn't do a double move, didn't do a stutter, didn't do a curl and then run up. He didn't do anything. He just jogged right past Jackson and then caught a 40-yard pass. I'm like, I was ripping my hair out. And mind you, I'm not one to be, this is on the refs, but early on, Haydn saw it. That holding call was bullshit. Like, the fact that we didn't get a holding call on that was unbelievable. He horse collared the defensive lineman when he was running past him, and he was right in front of Josh Allen, and it ended up being like a 25-yard gain. Obviously, it probably wouldn't have mattered because we got schooled by 30, but in the moment, That's big. That's a huge momentum boost. That kicks him back 10 yards, and you never know what happens, right? Now, that's the Patriots part. To give Josh Allen credit that he deserves and the Bills in general, they played one of the most perfect offensive games I've ever seen in my life. 7 drives, 7 touchdowns, big play after big play. Ian, you said it. More touchdowns than incompletions. You can just leave it at that, and that's a good game itself. But 7 drives, 7 touchdowns, and 1 kneel down. Those were the drives for the Bills, and all credit to them. They completely deserved the win. Bill Belichick and the coaching staff should be embarrassed. It was terrible. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing a few other things as well, but
I think you hit the major parts. Like, honestly, I think the TSN turning point was Hyde's interception. Like that, after that interception, I'm like, okay, if Buffalo goes and scores here, like, I don't think you're coming back down 14 in the cold.
Yeah.
And I mean, Mac, I think, played even for again, it was pretty cold in Buffalo on Saturday night, and he played remarkably well for the passing he did, the throws he made. I think there has to be some credit given to him for that.
So, yeah, and like he was like scrambling. He scrambled for a 13-yard first down, and he scrambled out of a blitz, and he threw on the run like a 15-yard pass to Hunter Henry. Like, that was the first drive, and then he threw, in my opinion, I thought it was a dime. And then Micah Hyde just made an unbelievable diving interception. And like, you can't even be mad about that. It's like, that was just a good play. I was more like in disbelief that it happened rather than like pissed off at Jones for throwing a pick. I was like, how did he make that play? Like, he didn't just knock it down. Like, he caught that. Like, the amount of skill that it takes is next level. And yeah, it was just super frustrating to watch because it was just, man, like, Patriots couldn't do anything. They had no answer. And let's not forget about the dildo in the end zone, because I think that was the highlight of the game.
Holy fuck. I remember just seeing that, and I'm like, that's a dildo.
And it's not the first time that's happened in Buffalo either.
Oh,
no.
That's an issue. But
and Kendrick Bourne, what the fuck are you doing taunting the Bills fans down 37 points? We got a touchdown to make it, what, 41 to like 10? And he's like, what's up? Like, I'm like, bro, we're down by like 18 scores.
He was doing his best Chase Claypool impression, okay?
God. Yeah.
So question then. As a Pats fan, where do you think the team's going from here, or what do you think is next in the offseason for the Pats?
I think
we should. There's two ways I'd go about it, but I want to hear what your thoughts are.
I think we should sign OBJ. Get it? Mac, number 1 receiver.
Okay.
And then I think we just need to give Mac some weapons, in my opinion. And then get some help in the secondary, because after seeing Williams after that play, mind you, I don't think he was even supposed to be starting, because Jalen Mills got sent into COVID protocol like the week of the game. And I think he would have at least done a better job than him, but I don't think he would have been a difference maker. But man, yeah, I think Hunter Henry's been a good like red zone tight end, right? And I think Jacoby Myers can be a good wide receiver too. I think we just need a true number 1 option. I think we should trade for Calvin Ridley. Either sign OBJ or trade for Ridley. Give up picks for Ridley, because Ridley's the truth, in my opinion. He's the truth. And I don't know if Mac Jones is on Alabama, but I'm pretty sure Calvin Ridley was drafted before Jones got to Bama, right? I'm thinking about Devontae Smith, or wasn't there another Ridley brother, or was he on defense?
There's Riley Ridley, I believe, who was a Bears.
Oh, he was on Georgia, not Alabama. That's my bad. But Yeah. So I think we should trade for Calvin Ridley or sign OBJ, one of the two. But if OBJ is gonna be like a ton of money, then like probably won't happen because it's Bill. But I say trade for Calvin Ridley, and then our O line's pretty good. I think our defensive line was doing well all year with Judon as well. But beef up the secondary and get a number one option. That's what I would do. And our backfield's fine with Harris and Stevenson. They're ballers. So
I was gonna say if you're New England, you either have to go like a Kansas City route of like getting either like a whole new offense, or just like you gotta load up on offense or defense. Like basically you're gonna go all in on like, okay, we lost to the Bills because of our defense, so then we're gonna get more defensive players and better defensive coaches. Or you just decide to be the Chiefs. It's like, okay, we're gonna add a bunch of offensive weapons and maybe even I don't think you're firing Josh McDaniels, but like you get a new offensive voice of like, we got to be more creative on offense. It's one or the other.
We need to get Mac Jones a receiver who can work on all levels of the field, short, medium, and long. And I think Ridley can do that. He showed it in Atlanta. And I think we should give up. I'm willing to give up picks and I don't know, so like some sort of anything to get Ridley.
What about Michael Thomas?
Yeah. I mean, if he's healthy and
not suspended.
Yeah. But also a name, if maybe available, Mike Williams. I know he's more of a deep threat, but like Kendrick Bourne could be our gadget player, and then Mike Will we can use as a deep threat, but he's probably expected big money. So, but yeah, Michael Thomas. I changed my answer from the to Michael Thomas.
I know.
You really know how to make my blood boil, huh?
I know there are 31 teams who would be interested in Michael Thomas. Let me tell you.
Actually, I want Tyler Lockett. Actually, I changed my mind.
Yeah, the best Seattle Seahawks wide receiver. Yeah.
Well, the best Seahawks wide receiver is Freddie Swain. I thought you guys did that.
I want to say something about the New England Patriots.
Go ahead.
Like going whole new offense. What did you sign Nelson Aguilar to? Like, what did they sign Nelson Aguilar? Was it 3 years?
Doesn't he have a 1-year deal?
No, he was
3.
He was like a 3-year deal.
And then what about Kendrick Bourne? Was he 3 years as well?
Something like that. But I like Kendrick Bourne. I think he can.
I like Bourne too. But what do they do about Aguilar? Because how many receptions did he have?
Release him.
You got to do something to like try and get a trade from him, right? You don't just release him after signing him for that much.
Give him to Atlanta for Ridley, 1-for-1.
I mean, Atlanta does that.
No, but I don't know what his contract is.
Ian, I also just want to say this.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Okay. But when
was it something I said?
When the Saints went out, do you know what he tweeted? Do you know what he tweeted when the Saints were mathematically eliminated?
No.
He tweeted #WhoDat. So I think that means he's coming back next season. I don't want to like spoil any fantasy.
Then I can say, Russell Wilson ended the Manning cast tonight with, go Hawks. That's what he said at the end of it. So I can assume that Russell Wilson's coming back to Seattle.
Yeah, and honestly, for as much or for how cool it would be if Russell Wilson like demanded a trade, I really hope New Orleans does not go for Russell Wilson. Okay, I like Jameis Winston. I like him in this system, and by all means, Seattle, keep Russell Wilson.
Yo, if you're keeping Jameis Winston, you guys should go for Mike Williams if Thomas is coming back.
Depends how the draft goes.
Give Mike Williams. Jameis loves throwing the ball deep, and that's exactly what Mike Williams is good for: contested catches and deep threats.
Sign receivers with the first name Mike.
Yeah, exactly. And he's expected a payday because he finally had a good year, but I mean, I don't think that wouldn't be a bad idea. But
New Orleans also does not have money. Yeah, so
true. Aguilar is signed a 2-year deal, $24 million.
Okay.
So you can get out of that.
So he's 1 year left. $15 million cap hit.
You can get out of that. This is the NFL. You can find a way out of that.
Yeah.
$15 million cap hit. Oh.
But let's move on here, boys. So the next game was Eagles Bucks. I mean, I don't think we have to talk about this one for long. But
I was actually kind of hyped about this game. Like I was
all right,
actually,
take it away, Ian. Take it away,
okay.
Mr. SYP, host of SYP. Big Eats.
I'm gonna say it. I think the Bucks are repeating. This team looked clinical, and I know it's the Eagles, but this team looked clinical. This team was prepared, and Brady's yelling at guys who aren't running their full routes, who are, Tyler Johnson, who just like slowed up, 75% of the way through his route, and Brady's still giving him shit. Yeah. That's what I really love about, watching Brady in the Bucks.
Yeah, that's probably the most frustrating thing as a quarterback is when people don't run their routes like till the whistle blows, pretty much.
Yes.
That's probably the most frustrating thing.
And Tyler Johnson is, running over the middle of the field. Like he's bound to get popped by somebody, but still you got to go make a catch on third down.
If he pulls it, like he could be the reason if someone's close to picking it, his contact going for the catch can prevent that. If he pulls up, that could be an easy pick. And Brady's like, what the fuck, dude? I was anticipating you to be in this spot. And you got at least man, you got to come ready to play. You got to be ready for the big hits. It's part of being a receiver going over the middle.
Well, and even the first touchdown Tampa Bay scored where Bernard got motioned back into the backfield and it looked like a messed up play from the beginning because they were taking so long to get it set and they still managed to get a touchdown out of it.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, this team is really good. This team is locked and loaded. Thoughts on Jalen Hurts? I get nervous when he crouches behind like in a pistol or a shotgun formation. That kind of makes me nervous when I see him crouch like a major league catcher.
Wrong spot, bud.
Yeah,
it actually pisses me off seeing Jalen Hurts like not come to play because I feel like there's certain games that Jalen Hurts comes to play, and then other games he'll just completely fold like a fucking Bills table.
Yeah,
and it pisses me off because there's nothing more frustrating than when you go into the postseason, and I get it. It's the Eagles. Fans are obnoxious. But even looking past that, there's actually somewhat of a hype building around it. It's the best rushing offense going against like a top 3 rushing defense. And what do they not do? They don't fucking run the ball. Like, come on, man.
Play to your strengths, man.
It pissed me off.
And the other thing too is that I think Tampa Bay had like at least like a 50% blitz rate.
Yeah.
Like throughout the game. So I mean, kudos to Tampa Bay for just like, we're gonna send the house half the time against Jalen Hurts. Good luck, man. Good luck in your first NFL playoff game.
Yeah.
There was no halftime adjustments from Nick Sirianni, and for everyone who was saying like, oh, Nick Sirianni, coach of the year, they can go fuck themselves. That was the worst performance I think I've ever seen against anyone going up against Tom Brady. Yeah. Like, actually piss poor. The fact that they got 15 points was all garbage.
No, because I was going into the game, I was thinking, I was like, this could maybe be like last year Washington football team against the Bucks, like a scrappy, like somehow they just like play Tom Brady well. After the first 5 minutes, I was like, this is going to be an absolute rout. Like, this isn't going to be close. And I'm going to say they more than doubled them up because Haydn, like you said, most of the Eagles points were just in like when it didn't matter. So, and by the way, Vaughn, that running back for Tampa, Ronald Jones, you're like a few games left from being released, bro, or being traded for something because that Vaughn guy is going to take over your spot. Like, he's being way more productive when Ronald Jones hasn't been in place for Fournette. So they might, because you got to keep Fournette, right? Because he's still
you got to keep Fournette
because he's not old. And he's been one of the more productive running backs the past couple seasons.
Mm-hmm. One of the best power backs.
Yeah, especially in the playoffs. And like that's what your team's like built around is like being in the playoffs right now. anytime Tom Brady's on your team, you're playing for the playoffs. And Leonard's proved that he's good in that. And Vaughn's taking over like as a good handcuff. So Rojo, you ever pack your bags and hop on a flight to a different team? Because I mean, time's running out for you.
Yeah, I think he's off of Tampa Bay next season.
Yeah.
He can't catch for shit. He's just a pure runner.
And like half the time he's getting like 2.5 yards to carry. And it's like,
Yeah,
that ain't going to cut it. But
no.
I think that's enough for this game, unless you boys had anything else you wanted to add.
No,
I just wish. Oh, sorry. You go.
I was just gonna say I like did it like probably too much film study and too many notes for that game, but I wanted to at least use some notes I took.
Hey, I respect it. NFL insider Ian McNaughton at your service.
I just wish the Eagles.
We're gonna have to start
actually
paying you to come
played
on the
better.
show now.
What did you say about the Eagles, Hayden?
I just said I wish they played better. I texted Kyler, Jeff, and I was like, it's a
Fly
shitty
Eagles
game
fly,
by your
baby.
Eagles. He's like, yeah, they just played like shit. And I was like, they just it makes my blood boil, the fact that they couldn't actually do something against Brady, because as long as you send pressure at Brady, it's not that bad. And their defensive line is frisky as fuck. But
Is what it is.
it is what it is.
Them boys.
Dude, when you posted that thing on your story last night about Dak praising fans for throwing shit at the refs running out the field,
Lost my respect for him. If
lost my respect for
if
him
that report
right
was
then and
true,
there.
but like I've seen multiple reports like saying that he said that.
He did say it in
He
a
did.
post-game presser.
He did.
I
There's
lost
a
my.
video of it.
He was like, you know how the question always goes around: if you were to pick one quarterback to build your franchise around, who would it be? I think a quarterback that was being overlooked a lot was Dak, because of he's a leader and he's shown that he can play. He can play good enough to like lead you to a Super Bowl. It's just a matter of like showing up like when it matters, which is obviously the most important part. But you need to have a good foundation at least, and he has that, and he's a good leader. As soon as he said that, it's just like I lost my respect for him. Like, people, you can be called a leader all you want. It's all about how you are to the media. And if you're saying shit like that, dude, I'm sorry, man, but like, what are you doing?
See, I lost my
it's not
I lost my
his
respect for
fault.
him when he started balding like LeBron, and he's not even 30. Like,
Did you
like,
have
did
that
you,
written
like,
down
did
as
you
a
see,
note
like,
on your laptop there, Ian? Did you have that written down?
no, I was watching
No?
him last night, and like he's sitting on the bench with his like head down, and it's like, dude, that's LeBron's haircut. Like, that looks like
Yeah.
LeBron. You don't deserve to win this game. But as a Seahawks fan, I am a little bit disappointed the Niners won. But it's not like the Cowboys deserved to win that game anyway. They didn't even deserve to get that last possession anyway. So,
No.
sure.
It's fucking awful, considering that you could praise people for throwing shit at the refs when how many penalties did they take?
14.
And two of those 14 were probably the most stupid penalties I think I've ever seen in my life.
Bro,
It was that hands to the face by the defensive lineman,
Yeah.
and then it was
The defensive holding where
Lawrence tackling the
Yeah.
49ers.
and then
Tackle.
Lawrence was like this to the ref. He's like, "What?" It's like,
he
bro,
he literally
You
gave
bear
him
hugged him.
He
You bear
literally
hugged
gave him a rock bottom on the middle of the field and called it good.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to get a defensive holding penalty as a defender, let alone a fucking defensive lineman?
Yeah.
On a lineman? Like, come on. And it wasn't even near the play. It wasn't needed.
And also, I'm going to say it right now. In my opinion, I think the refs did everything they could to keep Dallas in that game, because that Debo 4th and inches, that was really close to a first down. And I think they gifted Dallas that, in my opinion. I think they kind of gifted that. I'm going to have to look at the replay because I was working that night too, so I may have missed a few things, but I thought they made that first down. And that false start on Trent Williams when he didn't even move,
It wasn't a false start. He
No,
wasn't set.
No, I saw him like this. The ref did this, and I was
Are you
like,
talking about like that sneak?
Yeah. I think the problem with that was the fact that Kyle Shanahan was galaxy braining it, trying to motion his best lineman on a 4th down sneak. That's what
I'm pretty sure that it was a legal procedure because he wasn't set. He like
oh, I thought they
literally,
called him
went
on
down.
a false start.
No, I'm pretty sure it was a legal procedure because obviously you can't have multiple people moving at the same time and then you have to be set. And he just put his hand down when the ball snapped, and you have to wait for a second.
Oh,
or
that's
like
on
half a second.
that's on Garoppolo then.
Yeah,
Anything.
exactly. It was on
Okay.
Garoppolo because
I
he could
thought
have waited.
I thought
and
it was I thought it was a false start, and I caught it when Trent Williams put his hand down. I didn't see him move, and I was like, that wasn't
Yeah.
a fault. That's my bad then. But
Yeah.
in my opinion, I still think Cowboys tried everything they could to keep Dallas in that game, and they ran a QB sneak with 14 seconds left, no timeouts, and Dak gave the ball to a center.
I didn't mind that play call. It's just Dak should have got down
way sooner.
No, should have got down sooner and gave it to the ref instead of a center.
Yeah, or then the center give it to the ref.
Like,
Let the ref.
What I didn't understand is like with Tony Romo, I think he had a perfect play. Like there was 3 defenders on each of the sidelines marking the 5, 10, and 15. Why not just take 2 shots to the middle of the end zone?
Yeah.
Each play would probably be like 10 seconds, but if it's an incompletion, that's 10 seconds plus 4. That's 2 plays. Yeah. And instead you run a QB draw and you don't even find the ball to give it to the ref. And it's just like, come on, man. Come on.
And in my opinion, they just shot themselves in the foot by not getting into it sooner. Like I think that defense was vulnerable last night, and they just didn't do enough on offense throughout the game. So don't blame. I hate playing the refs card because it's just you just got to play better as a team. If you're the real deal, you shouldn't be in a position to blame the refs for a loss.
So then let's blame Mike McCarthy. Like that dude should be fired.
Play calling, yeah. I don't even know how he got a job too.
Like that. Like here's the thing. Dallas, since Dak's been there, that play calling for the Cowboys has been stagnant, has been boring, has been kind of like the Raiders, just underwhelming. Like you could be doing so much more, like the Chiefs or the Chargers, and that play calling is so poor. And that goes to Jason Garrett. That goes to Mike McCarthy. Now I'm afraid somebody like Kellen Moore, who's been influenced by both of them, is going to be getting some head coaching job, and it's going to have the same dull play calling as those 2 guys.
Well, I was just about to ask, do you think this affects Kellen Moore's chances of getting a head coaching job? Because his name's been thrown around prior to that game, right? It was thrown around prior to that. Like Kellen Moore, he's been doing great for the Cowboys offense this year, and then that QB, and then that. I think it's a bit questionable, but I think he should just stay within the Dallas organization.
I think
stay what he's doing right now. But I do think Mike McCarthy should be gone. Like, hey, so Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore have been getting jobs. Do you think you just let go of Mike McCarthy and hire one of those 2 to become head coach, and then hire a new OC or DC?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that.
Because
Dan Quinn's already been an NFL head coach. I don't know why he couldn't get another gig.
Do you think with how good the offense is and like the weapons they have, they should hire an offensive-minded coach or defensive-minded coach?
Offensive.
Probably an
Dan
offensive.
Quinn in.
But...
So should they hire Kellen Moore as head coach and keep? But Dan Quinn, chances are they're going to lose him because he's gotten 4 interviews from head coach.
So what do you think is more valuable then? Do you value having a defensive coach like Quinn, or do you value having an offensive guy like Kellen Moore?
Chances are they're just going to lose Dan Quinn, and they're just going to have to find a new DC. They're going to keep McCarthy and Kellen Moore.
Yeah, that's probably how it is. That's probably how this will end up.
It's Dallas. Nothing makes sense there, so they're going to keep Mike McCarthy because it's not the logical choice, but it's Cowboys, so they don't like making logical choices. So they're going to keep Mike McCarthy as head coach. Kellen Moore might get a head coach job somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised, but I think he should stay in Dallas, and Dan Quinn probably goes somewhere. I'm gonna get the Vikings. Why not? Where does Dan Quinn get hired? I think he got a interview with Chicago, Minnesota, Miami and Houston, I think it was.
I think the Broncos too. I think the Broncos.
Oh no,
interviewed-
it was Denver, not Houston.
I think the Broncos interviewed both of them. That would probably be my bet.
Yeah, I'd say the Broncos
Denver?
probably gets Dan Quinn. Yeah,
I'll say Minnesota.
They had a defensive coach in Fangio. They might go offensive. They might go Kellen Moore.
I'll say.
I don't think the coach was the problem for the offense though. I think that was just like the offense itself.
You're telling me Drew Lock is not, or Teddy Bridgewater is not franchise quarterback material now?
Not for the Broncos, no.
Interesting.
I think he's a system quarterback. I like Teddy. I wish we kept Teddy because
think
he was fit. He fit well for the system.
He's a good stopgap quarterback. He's just a better fit, in my opinion.
Yeah, he'll win you 50% of the games, where Drew Lock will probably lose you 80% of the games. So,
yeah,
that's my opinion.
Who would you rather have as a stopgap quarterback, Garoppolo or Bridgewater?
Bridgewater.
I think Bridgewater, Teddy B.
Yeah.
Like, I think the way Bridgewater is best fit is a situation like San Fran, when you have Trey Lance who needs some time to groom. So you have a guy like, but I mean, Garoppolo's been playing well the past few weeks. So
No, they're like two different guys. Where like Garoppolo will force balls and will make mistakes, whereas Bridgewater just won't take those risks. Like he's just very safe.
He doesn't usually take big risks.
Yeah, so that's why I'd go with Bridgewater.
Fair. Chiefs Steelers. Big Ben. Probably the last game as a Steeler. Ian, I know you had a hard on to talk about this game, so why don't you go ahead, big guy?
The biggest win from this weekend was the fact that Ben Roethlisberger got his ass kicked on Sunday Night Football. It's not the Cowboys losing. It's not the Patriots losing. It's Big Ben getting shitted on in Kansas City. That dude has it coming, and I'm glad he's gone. The NFL is in a better place today because Ben Roethlisberger is gone than when he was in it.
I mean, he was shot. He was shot like 3 years ago.
Yeah, easily 3 years ago.
Should have retired last season.
Yeah,
should have retired 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Have both of his seasons back to back ended on Sunday Night Football?
Yes. Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth. Because that was the Cleveland game last year, wasn't it?
The Cleveland game, yeah.
And
in the playoffs.
They got shitted on in that game too.
Yeah. They got bent over and shown the 50 states.
Oh, God. And here's the thing. I want to root for the Steelers. There's a lot of pieces I love on the Steelers.
Steelers can kick rocks, man.
It's so hard to root for Ben Roethlisberger, man. That guy's a fucking. Did you see the part where they started describing like what kind of a player he was? And it's just like, oh wow, they forgot rapist there.
Yeah. That's tough to miss, isn't it? Yeah.
Such a head scratcher of a person.
Thank God the Steelers lost. And not just for betting purposes. Thank God the Steelers lost. That I will say the one positive, TJ Watt getting a touchdown. I don't mind that. TJ Watt's cool. TJ Watt rocks. I like TJ Watt.
Defensive player of the year.
Yeah, the fact that he signed that big contract and then tied the sack record the year after just show that the money was worth it, because a lot of people people speculate like contracts being signed and then they bust the year after. So it's like that whole conversation, like, did they screw up by signing him to this much money? But then he like ties the sack record. It's like, all right.
No, I think he's good. Actually.
Yeah. No, I think he's one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. I think it's completely fair that he got that deal.
100%. Totally agree.
Jeff, did you see that one thing of like that PMT guy? Like, part of my take, Duncan was telling me about it last night. This guy had put a bet for he put a bet for Watt scoring the first touchdown. Only problem is he accidentally bet Derek Watt, not TJ Watt.
Oh Jesus.
No.
So he thought he got it, but it was actually he bet on Derek Watt getting, not TJ Watt.
That is unbelievable. Yeah,
Big yikes.
yeah. Speaking of PMT, different team, but did you guys? I posted this on my story, but Big Cat for part of my take. He's had Matt LaFleur on their show,
Yeah, I
and
saw that.
he's like, hey, hypothetical question here. 2 minutes left. You're down 8. 4th and 8 on the 15-yard line. Do you go for it or do you kick the field goal? Because that
And it
happened.
took him like a second to realize what it was. Right?
And LaFleur's like, you're a funny guy, aren't you, Big Cat? And he's like, what? It's hypothetical. That's exactly what happened. That bit. Oh, yo, I laughed so hard. He's like, and then he was like, hey, Matt, is 3 times 3 greater than 8? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, so that was your plan to get 3 field goals instead of a touchdown. Yeah, I laugh. The balls that you have to ask like the coach who fucked that up is like unbelievable. But I thought that was so funny.
I can't wait till they do it again in the NFC Championship.
Yes, Ian. Thank you. Yes, Green Bay will not make it past the NFC Championship.
Hey, you shush. You shush. You guessed the Cowboys to make the Super Bowl, Hayden. All right.
Yeah, it was just an awful.
So, but last game just happened tonight. We are recording on Monday. Cardinals, Rams absolutely rout Arizona. Boys, what did you think of this game? I obviously, Hayden, you were saying before we recorded, you thought, or no, as we were recording, you thought if the Saints made it be a closer game. I thought it would have been a closer game than it was because they split the regular season. But I mean, yeah, it was just like Arizona just did not come to play.
I'll say it now and I'll say it again. Arizona Fraudinals, okay? Kyler Murray, man. I know there's a lot of jokes about him being a midget, but legit, if that guy didn't have scrambling ability, he would not be as good of a quarterback as he is. You know what I mean? Like, you look at the offense built around him too.
You can say that about Lamar too, though.
I don't know. Yeah and no, but I feel like
I think Kyler's a better thrower of the ball than Lamar is. So take out their scrambling abilities. I'm still taking Kyler over Lamar.
I think there's a different aspect between Lamar and Kyler, though. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what it is. It's your opinion, like my opinion, whatever. Regardless, I just don't think Kyler Murray is or will be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He'll be great for views because of the big playability that he has. But he just, I don't know, like something about him just doesn't like give me that it factor. And this was something that I had at the early part of the season when I thought that they were going to be 6-11 or 5-12. I didn't think they'd be in this position that they're in, but obviously it completely benefited from them being last in their division last year and getting the brunt of all the 4th seeded teams this year. And LA totally sold last week. Clearly they wanted to play a worse team in the Arizona Cardinals and not the New Orleans Saints. So congratulations to the LA Rams. I can't wait to see how the refs in the NFL will get you into the Super Bowl this year.
Ian?
I think the Detroit Lions really, destroyed the Cardinals. That was really the downfall. It's really the Detroit Lions that we have to praise because
Dan Campbell went into LA and gave Sean McVay his playbook, and then McVay only used those plays. Then that's what beat the Cardinals so bad.
It makes sense because there's quite a few the Odell pass tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, like the better coaching staff won, the better quarterback won, the better team won, team with the better uniforms won. I think the Cardinals are like 5 years too late in changing their jerseys. Cardinals could use a uniform change. This is just who the Rams are. Like they're just one of the most, if not the elite team in the NFL right now. They can beat you in a variety of ways. The secondary is a little bit, banged up where Eric Weddle has to come in and play real snaps.
It was his first game in 750 days tonight.
Yeah. So that's a bit concerning. But in terms of just winning tonight on Monday Night Football, yeah, I'm not surprised.
I relate the Rams a lot to the Bills. very hot and cold. When they come to play, they come to play. But also, when they have a stinker, they look vulnerable. Stafford led the league in interceptions or tied the league with most interceptions thrown. And he had like four of them were like pick sixes, right? So like when they don't come to play, man, they can be it could be quiet for them. And then especially with the Bills, man, you saw like 9-6 to Jacksonville. Like there's some games where the Jets gave them a run for their money for like 3 quarters in week 18, right? But like, so I kind of relate them the same, but like when they're on, like you saw tonight, like this week, Bills were on fire, Rams were on fire, and they looked unstoppable. So
Cam Akers looked really good.
Yeah.
Too. He was impressive
That
in the run
is
game.
tore his
that
Achilles
is just
6
an
months ago, and
inspiration.
he's getting 18 carries in wild
Not
card
even
game.
not even 6 months ago, 176 days ago, he tore it.
Yeah, it said
176 days.
yeah, it said torn Achilles 6 months ago. So I just went off that, but
If
I know.
100,
But, yeah.
if I was him, I'd probably still be resting it and playing Madden at my house.
Oh, I
as
would
the
be
Rams.
milking it.
Yeah, like I would be, just playing Madden instead of
Yeah.
actually playing in the game,
Yeah,
and then just running for 200 yards with myself if I was Cam Akers.
yeah.
It's crazy
I
that
agree.
a torn Achilles for a running back is like 4 years ago. That's career ending.
Yeah. And now
That's
it's like
career ending.
And now it's like players come back stronger than they were before.
Yeah, like every
After
time
they
he
did,
ran
it's
and I
like,
saw someone go for his legs, I'm like, "Ugh,
yeah,
don't do it."
it's like Gronk with the back, like I said earlier. Anytime he comes
Yeah,
back
no,
from a back
exactly.
injury, he gets tackled, and I'm like, all right, he got up, he's okay. But no, yeah, Rams move on. It's gonna be a very exciting week next week. Let's preview it. We'll continue with the Rams Bucks. We got Brady. I'm pretty sure they played this year, and the Rams beat them.
Yep.
What do we got? What are our predictions? How do we think it's gonna go? Hayden, I'll start with you.
I just can't wait for the Bucks to come in and just absolutely shit kick the Rams. Are you kidding me? There's no way that the Bucks lose to the Rams on what is it, Saturday or Sunday that they're playing? I can't remember which day
Sunday,
they're
I believe
playing.
it's Sunday.
Is it okay? Yeah, there's
Sunday. Yeah, Sunday.
There's no way in God's name that they get slapped around like they did when they came to LA. It's gonna be in Tampa, and it's just gonna be like almost like a warm-up game, I'd say. Yeah, I don't even want to say that because if the Rams win, then this is just gonna get put on fucking your Instagram, and I'm just gonna be clowned. So actually, you know what? Bucks still gonna win, but the Rams, they'll try everything they can.
It doesn't matter that you said that. I'm just gonna cut it out, and I'm gonna cut the earlier clip.
It's gonna be on freezing cold takes.
Yeah.
The Rams
Yeah,
win.
literally.
That's what it's gonna be on. I think the Bucks will win. I do believe, though, correct me if I'm wrong, they played each other this year in LA and the Rams won. They played each other last year on Monday Night Football and the Rams won.
Yeah.
Rams
with Goff.
With Goff, Rams are 2-0 against the Bucks under Brady. Just throwing that out there. I don't know if that means anything. I just think it's interesting. I still have Tampa Bay probably winning the Super Bowl right now. But
Ian, Saints are 4-0 against Brady in the regular season.
Yeah, well, the Saints aren't playing, Hayden. The Saints are out. All of our teams are on the same couch watching the damn game this weekend, Hayden. Don't give me this 4-0 bullshit.
0-1 in the playoffs.
We're all of our teams are on the same couch watching the games this weekend. Great.
But there's just some sort of fucking voodoo that comes with Tom Brady in the playoffs, okay? It doesn't matter that he was shut out or that he was absolutely mollywopped last year when he got beat 38-3 in Tampa. He still is going to win. It's some magic voodoo that he has.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bucks. I think it's gonna be within a touchdown, or like it's gonna be like, I think it's no more than like a 10-point game, and I think if anything, it'll be like a last second field goal to like maybe get it to 7. Like I think it's going to be within a score, but I have the Bucks winning. But I think it's going to come down to the wire, in my opinion.
I think you're also really stupid to bet against Tom Brady
Yeah,
Yes.
in the playoffs.
In the playoffs.
That should be
Exactly.
stated.
especially when he has his boy Gronk and the way he's connecting with Mike Evans right now.
And if they get one of those running back, like if they get
Fournette will be
back,
coming back next week.
Yeah, and I mean, I know it's the Eagles, but they had a pretty good offensive line, and that defensive line got to the backfield quick. And the
yep.
way Winfield played this week, yeah, I'll take Bucks, but I do think it's gonna be a frisky game. We'll stick in the NFC. Packers, San Fran.
I actually think San Fran could pull off an upset.
I do too.
Only because I think the Green
Kyle
Bay defense is overrated as fuck.
I don't even think that. It's just that Kyle Shanahan has had Sean McVay's number. Like,
Sean
And
McVay.
you're going through the McVay coaching tree with LaFleur.
I screwed up there.
Nah.
I meant I was thinking about week 18 when Shanahan beat the Rams. That's my bad. But I do still think it's San Fran could pull something off, but I have Green Bay winning.
I'm picking Green Bay because I think we're going
It's
to
the safe choice.
I think we're going to an NFC championship repeat
Rematch.
But- rematch. But here's the thing. When you're hot, you're hot. Like this is the best time of year to get hot. And the 49ers are rolling with
Yes.
2 big wins in a row.
That is true.
Let's not forget the Lions did beat Green Bay week 18.
Are we counting that? Because like Rodgers was not playing for like 3 quarters.
The Lions
He didn't
almost
play
beat
for the half.
the Lions almost beat San Fran earlier in the season.
But then I could also throw out my logic to Haydn, where it's like, yeah, well, the Seahawks beat the Lions in week 17, so the Seahawks should be playing. Like,
yeah. So the
I'm just
Seahawks are
saying-
better than the Packers? Is that what we're saying?
is that what I'm
I'm just saying here, okay? There is a point where I think the defense for San Fran is a lot better than the defense of Green Bay. It's just, will Aaron Rodgers make any mistakes? If he doesn't make a mistake, Green Bay wins this game. But if he makes 1 or 2 mistakes, whether that be like a missed throw on a 3rd and like 3 or just an interception, then San Fran, with the way that they can run the ball and slow the game down, like Zadarius Smith and Devondre Campbell and Jair Alexander, like don't get me started on Jair Alexander. Like, yeah, if you're so good, why do people keep throwing to you? That sort of thing. It's like, because there's always something. There's always something there. But I don't know. This defense. Plus, they still have Kevin King, right? What, Debo just takes one like good route past King and he's gone. So
Is he on the team? I didn't think he was on the team.
either way, Debo Samuel, San Francisco 49ers, they're getting hot. They can probably picking the Packers is the safe option, but I wouldn't be surprised if San Francisco wins this.
Someone be my stat guy and search up the line. What's the line on the game? Someone quickly search that up for me.
I'll look it up.
pull that up, Haydn? No, I here's the thing. I feel like this is Green Bay's game to lose. Like it's as hot as San Francisco is. Green Bay is the number 1 team. They do have home field advantage. Aaron Rodgers is probably the MVP this year.
I think he should win.
So this is Green Bay's game to lose.
Yeah.
I
agree. Well, so we all have the Packers, but we are being aware of San Fran, if I'm not mistaken. We're all aware of San Fran. We're all aware that Shanahan is still like, you can't overlook Shanahan's play calling, and San Fran's hot. They have a good running game, and Debo's always something you have to monitor.
Debo is their best running back.
Yeah. I mean, Elijah Mitchell's still an absolute baller too. So
All
that
right.
just makes it even scarier.
I have the lines here, boys.
I'm gonna say it's Packers -5.5. -4.5.
Ian?
I'll say Packers by a touchdown.
Wow. It obviously depends what site you're looking at here, but if we're just going off DK Sportsbook, it is Green Bay favored by 6.
Okay.
And the lowest you can get it is Green Bay favored by 4.5 on FanDuel. Nothing's come out for the other NFC game, but
I could
San
see
Francisco +6.
I could see San Fran covering that.
I could see San Fran.
I could see it being like a 4-point game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
could
I would probably take Green Bay at -4 just because I'd feel really stupid if it was like 30-12 in the third quarter for Green Bay, and it's like, why did I take San Francisco?
Yeah, no, but then you got Jimmy G with the backdoor cover. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Dev has the right stuff there with the Jimmy G backdoor cover.
Yeah.
But I'm with Ian. I'd take Green Bay -4.5. I wouldn't stay. I wouldn't touch 6.
I would say I would take San Fran +6 is what I was saying.
Yeah, I would do that too.
Yeah. But we'll go on to the AFC now. Bengals Titans. Titans
Thank
number
God.
1 seed got the first round bye. I think this could be a sneaky good game. Derrick Henry's probably going to be playing.
This could be a fucking good game.
I was gonna say, thank God this is the first game on the Saturday, so we can get this over with and watch some real Super Bowl contenders like the Chiefs and Bills play each other.
Yeah.
I think no, this
Savage,
is gonna be a sneaky good game too. Yeah. This is like with the quarterback play too. If Tannehill is actually playing well.
Yeah. Who you guys got?
Are we doing it against the spread, or are we just doing outright?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I like the Bengals to win outright.
I kind of like the Bengals to win outright too.
I like the Bengals to win outright too.
Like I think I think
this.
you have the best quarterback. I don't know if you have the better coach. I don't know if you have the better. Neither one of these defenses really gets me going.
The only one that kind of like scares me is the Bengals defense because they have like stars at all 3 levels. They have a great pass rush, they have a great run defense, and then they have a like not stellar backfield, but like Von Bell, very serviceable. Mike Hilton. Jesse Bates. And the resurgence of Eli Apple.
Yeah.
Question mark?
Just like we all predicted.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. When I saw Eli Apple on the Bengals, I'm like, oh, they're getting torched.
I think it's going to be do you have the over under there, Hayden? Because I think it could be an under game. I think it could be like in the trenches because both of them like they both have a good pass rush. So it could be like the first like half of the first quarter is going to be 3 and outs.
Yeah, the over under is only 47 points, and the bets are, or like the spread, sorry, is Tennessee -3.5. So it's almost a pick 'em.
I would take Bengals +3, maybe even alternate spread Bengals +5.
Yeah, you can teaser that. Yeah,
but we all got Bengals. We'll get this show on the road here with the last game, probably the game of the week, maybe other than, in my opinion, Tampa and LA. Bills Chiefs played earlier this year. Bills took the dub. Mahomes and the Chiefs looked very exposed, but then I'm pretty sure not too much later, the Bills lost to the Jags. So anything could happen. Okay, anything's on the table here, right, boys? Who do we got? We'll start with Ian.
I'm going to take the Chiefs to win because I don't know how you can beat the Chiefs. I don't know and you can say the same thing for the Bills, but it's just, again, this team is rolling. They've played really well this second half of the season.
I mean, I think they're on like a 12-game winning streak right now.
Exactly.
Including playoffs.
They lost to Cincinnati. They lost to Cincinnati.
Okay, so they had the Cincinnati loss.
like week 17. Yeah, when the Bengals won the AFC North. They won that game and they won it outright.
That was against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Was. That's right.
And the last minute.
That's right. They were on like a 10-game winning streak prior to that, though.
Point is, I think Mahomes is hot. Not just looks wise, like actually like playing really well as a quarterback right now.
Is Ian McNaughton simping for Patty Mahomes?
Maybe a little bit, but definitely not his brother. But you got Kelsey throwing touchdowns. You got Tyreek Hill catching wide open passes,
and then doing cheerleading numbers on the sidelines.
Yes. And the Chiefs are just really good right now. They're really hot. If Spags can call up the right plays on defense to get, make sure Allen isn't scrambling, make him throw the ball quick. Don't give him extra time. Chiefs, I believe they're at home too, are they not?
Yeah, they're the number 2 seed.
Yeah,
they're a 2.5 point favorite.
I wouldn't do spread. I would probably just do like money line or player props for this game.
Yeah. There's no value either on either side. Yeah, it's minus 110 either way. So
I would take I'm going to take Chiefs. Like I would take Chiefs just to win outright, and then maybe like Kelsey over on yards, which is probably like 67.
I was going to say there's got to be somebody betting how many TikToks Jackson Mahomes posts like during a game.
Someone has to track that though. That's like you gotta have.
There's enough, private or privileged entitled white kids who will be interested in that.
Someone at DraftKings or FanDuel, just hire them to an internship just to do that, just to track that.
You're called a TikTok coordinator, but instead of making TikToks for DraftKings, you're just watching everybody else's TikToks.
Ian's boy, Jackson Mahomes.
Not my boy. Chiefs by a field goal.
So you got Chiefs on the spread, or that would it's 2.5, right?
Cover
2.5.
I'm fucking Bills.
I like it, yo. I mean, it's a game in my opinion. It's a toss up, like because the Bills won handedly before, and it wasn't just by like a Patriots win over the Bills where the Bills only passed it like 3 times. Like Bills actually came to play and they outright won. They pressed Mahomes and played him well. So I don't hate the Bills winning this game at all, especially with how they played last week. Mind you, it's not going to be a 7-drive, 7 touchdowns game because that's nearly impossible to repeat. But I wouldn't doubt the Bills going off again, putting up like 30 plus. I wouldn't doubt it at all.
If the Chiefs lose and the Bills win, does that mean I get thrown through a table by one of you?
And then you have to drink warm oven baked Coors Light after.
Plus, Ian, to make it more intense, we will have to set you on fire to get views.
You're gonna have to throw me off the top of a steel cage, and I'm gonna land through a table, but then I'm gonna go back up the steel cage once again just to get thrown through the middle like Mick Foley.
Yeah. And then shotgun a Coors Light after that's been sitting.
Shotgun a Coors Light and then like have a snowball thrown in my face and then get lit on fire.
Yeah. Haydn, did you hear that podcast with Ian, Scott, and Goff?
Yeah, of course I did.
When we went golfing,
went golfing up at Squam and you told them to drink a beer that you left in your golf bag for
months over the summer.
It was not good.
It was very warm.
I can imagine how shit it must have been, actually.
A warm silver bullet. I gotta love that. Boys, this is a fun episode, and this is going to be a very, very fun divisional weekend. I'm going to see if I have any time for the press questions. I don't believe we do. Nope. No time for the press questions, but if you think I forgot, you're absolutely lying. Obviously, on this show, we do a weekly segment called On This Day in Sports History. And so the first one, 1995, the LA Rams announced that they are moving to St. Louis. What a travesty that decision was.
Wow, that worked out well, didn't it?
How many Super Bowls did they win in St. Louis?
One.
One too many.
And like obviously one of the greatest stories with Kurt Warner at quarterback. That does he have a 30 for 30 about him? No, he has a movie about
No,
him.
They got a new movie with him, and like every athletic movie ever, the quarterback doesn't actually know how to throw the ball because he's an actor. He's not an actual quarterback, which is like if you go watch the High School Musical stuff, like they're all actors. Nobody knows how to throw a fucking baseball or shoot a ball in that. Yeah. Like,
Oh yeah, is that the movie where it's like this meme and it's like a actor throwing a quarterback and he's like the starting QB at practice. And his girlfriend's like talking to him.
Exactly.
He's like
exactly.
He's throwing like Philip Rivers, like one of his 6 sons.
It's literally the Dr. Pepper halftime like chest pass that the college kids do to try and win their tuition. That's what every that's what every athletic movie ever is.
Yeah. Oh man, that's too funny. All right, next one, 1996 Detroit Red Wings center Steve Yzerman scores his 500th career NHL goal. He joins Gordie Howe as the only player to score 500 goals for Detroit.
That's a timely coincidental this day in sports. Wow. Thank you. I needed that.
Did it for you, McNaughton. Did it for you. Especially with Russ leaving this offseason. You know, I gotta
get that's really just stabbed me with the knife and then twisted it. That's really kind. Thanks.
I teased you for a bit and then I tugged you back.
Yeah.
Last but not least, 1997. We're ending this one on a bang. NBA suspends Dennis Rodman indefinitely for kicking a cameraman. And then he probably went to Vegas after and slept with what's her name? It was like the Kim K of like the 90s.
Madonna.
No, Carmen Electra. That's her name.
I wonder if somebody would get fined or suspended for kicking a cameraman today because
probably like 82 games because the leagues are soft. Mind you shouldn't do it, but I'm just saying.
It's weird because some stuff I don't know. We live in a weird time, I guess, compared to then where back then that was a big rage. It's like, oh, this guy kicked the cameraman. And Odell has, partied on boats and done blow in videos and didn't serve any time for that.
Also paid his former college alumni $2,000 after winning a national championship. But
that was cool.
And now he's not allowed back on LSU campuses.
Bro, that's the dumbest shit ever. Is paying college athletes kind of thing. It's like when Chase Young got suspended from the Rose Bowl for giving his family free tickets. Like, what? What? Yeah. Are you serious?
So dumb.
It's the NCAA is a bunch of dummies.
The NCAA hates kids.
Yeah,
that's the thing to say about them.
It's so dumb. But boys, this is a super fun episode. We went long. I think we've been recording for about an hour and a half. So this was a good episode. Ian, we'll start with you. Where can the boys find you? Where can everyone find your work?
Oh God, you can find it in a lot of different places.
All right, that's enough for you, Haydn. It pays to be the only American on the pod, there, buddy.
Well, I'm dual technically. I have Canadian and American, citizenship. But whatever, who cares? I don't.
No, where can they find you, my man? Where can they find you?
So basically, you can follow us on Instagram at SYP Pod. We changed it up now, so that's our new Instagram username.
It's very, very clean looking.
Thank you. That's what I was going for. A bit more professional. You can follow us on Twitter at SYP Pod. I'm going to do some more stuff there, hopefully in the next little bit. You can check out our podcast. Scott Conkin, SYP creator Scott and I recorded a new podcast tonight as well on Monday. You can check that out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll find the links on Instagram or on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. If you want, just DM me for links, and I'll give you all the links, and not just SYP links. I can send a whole bunch of other links.
That's awesome. Hayden, what about you?
The usual Hayden_Barton on Instagram. And that's pretty much it for me.
All right. And you guys remember to follow me on Instagram at Jevon.Lefave, on Twitter at JevonLefave. Find everything for the show on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at leftsideheavy_. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Left Side Heavy. Press notification bell, comment, like, do all that. Interact with me. I'll talk with you. I like interacting with the listeners, boys. So be sure to leave a rating and review on Apple and Spotify. And check out our past episodes. Check out our latest Kickback and Relax with me and my sisters. We released it on Christmas Day, and we talked about Christmas memories, and we did a Christmas movie bracket. So it's a little past the season, but it was a very entertaining episode. And boys, this is going to be an exciting divisional round. Thank you for coming on, and we'll see you next week. Peace.